Love after 60. 5 words men use only when they're deeply in love with an older woman.
Welcome to Wise Life After 60. So grateful to have you here. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying something he said? Just a simple word, maybe a sentence so ordinary it shouldn't matter, but it lingers. You wonder, did he mean more than he let on? The truth is, when a man loves a woman, especially an older woman, he doesn't always show it in the ways we expect. He may not give grand declarations or sweep you off your feet with dramatic gestures. Instead, his words shift quietly, naturally, and sometimes it's the smallest ones that reveal the deepest love. Now, let's be honest. We've all heard the stereotypes, that men only want someone younger, that dating after 60 is just about companionship, not passion, that an older woman dating again is too intimidating or just a phase. But here's the thing, it simply isn't true. Surveys show that many men openly admit they're drawn to women 5, 10, even 15 years older, not because of age, but because of the connection, the wisdom, and the authenticity that only grows with time. So why do these old beliefs still echo in our minds? Because when men are truly in love, they often express it differently. Not always in grand romance, but in subtle language. Ordinary words that carry extraordinary meaning. Words that slip out when he's no longer trying to impress, but simply being real. Here on Wise Life After 60, I want to share with you 5 of those words, the ones men use only when their hearts are fully invested. If you've ever listened closely, hoping to hear the truth between the lines, this is for you. Before we dive in, if these reflections on love after 60 speak to your heart, please like this video and subscribe to Wise Life After 60. It helps more women discover that true love can begin at any age. And now, let's begin with the very first word, a word so simple that many women overlook it, yet it often carries the strongest proof of a man's love. Word number 1, home. There's a certain word that carries more weight than most people realize. It's home. When a man looks at a woman and calls her his home, he isn't talking about a roof, 4 walls, or a street address. He's speaking of a feeling, a place where the noise of the world softens and he knows he belongs. Over the years, I've seen many kinds of love. Some were wild and brief, some practical and built on routine. But every now and then, there's a different kind. The kind where a man quietly says, "You are my home." That isn't casual. That isn't habit. That is love. Choosing a resting place, especially in love after 60, when many of us have walked through seasons of loneliness or loss. That word becomes more powerful than ever. Psychologists remind us that human beings are wired for belonging. We spend much of life searching for where we fit. Careers, children, and community can all give us pieces of it. Yet when a man tells an older woman she feels like home, he's confessing something deeper. You are the place I've been looking for. He no longer needs to chase illusions. He has arrived. I think of a friend in his 70s who thought he was finished with love. He had lived alone for years, convinced that chapter was over, and then he met someone. One afternoon, sitting at her kitchen table, he told me, It feels like I've come home after years of wandering. It wasn't the furniture or the meal or the house itself. It was her presence, her quiet listening, her steady laughter, the way she made space for him to be himself. That one word, home, carried the whole truth of his heart. Isn't that what most of us long for? Not fireworks or drama, but to be seen as the place someone chooses to return to again and again. For an older woman dating in later years, hearing the word home isn't just flattery. It's recognition. It's him saying, with you I can put my burdens down. With you I am myself. Love at this stage of life is not about chasing excitement. It's about finding the soul where you can finally stop wandering. And when a man uses the word home, that's exactly what he's telling you. And soon, you'll notice there is another word, just as quiet, that reveals an even deeper layer of his heart.
Word number 2, safe. Do you know what it means when a man quietly whispers that he feels safe with you? Not safe in the sense of comfort and habit, but safe in a way that lets him breathe, put down his burdens, and simply be himself. That single word, safe, carries more weight than most people ever realize. Men spend so much of their lives trying to be strong, trying to hold everything together. From their youth, they're told to protect, to provide, to never let the cracks show. By the time a man reaches his 60s or 70s, he has carried those expectations for decades. He has survived loss, endured failures, and kept his fears hidden. But when he looks at an older woman and admits, "With you, I feel safe," he is giving her a gift more precious than diamonds. He is giving her his truth. Feeling safe doesn't mean dullness. It doesn't mean routine. In love after 60, safety means freedom. It means he no longer has to perform, no longer has to pretend, no longer has to keep up a mask of endless strength. Safety is the soil where intimacy can finally grow, where laughter comes easier, and where silence feels like presence rather than absence. I once read a line that stayed with me. A man is strongest where he feels safest. It reminded me that safety is not weakness, it is trust. And trust is the foundation of every lasting love. For an older woman dating again, hearing that word is no small thing. It's not casual flattery. It's his way of saying, "You are my refuge, the one place I can lay my armor down." Let me ask you this. Has a man ever told you that he felt safe with you? Or shown it in his actions, even without saying the word? Maybe you've seen it in the way his voice softens when you're together, or the way he opens up about things he never told anyone else. If so, I'd love for you to share in the comments. Your story might be the light another woman needs to recognize the very same truth in her own life. The beauty of this word is that it rarely arrives during grand gestures. It doesn't usually show up in candlelit dinners or carefully planned moments. It slips out during the quiet times, when you're walking together, when you're sharing a simple meal, when you're just sitting side by side, and suddenly he says, "I feel so safe here with you." That's when you know his love is real. Men spend a lifetime building safety for others, but the truest sign of love is when he admits he has found his safety in you. And once he has said it, there is no pretending, no performance, only truth. When that safety takes root, another word often follows that reveals just how deeply you matter in his life. Word number 3. Need.
What does it mean when a man looks into your eyes and quietly says, "I need you"? Not as a casual phrase, not as a passing desire, but as a truth that comes from the deepest part of his soul. Wanting someone can be fleeting. It may be about charm, attraction, or timing, but need is different. When a man tells an older woman, "I need you," it is not about weakness. It is about recognition that her presence has become essential to his life. In Love After 60, the word need carries extraordinary power. Many of us know how to live alone. We've handled bills, made meals, managed losses. We've proven we can survive. So when a man says need, he isn't talking about survival. He's talking about the way you've become woven into the very fabric of his days. He could live without you, perhaps, but life would lose its fullness, its brightness, its joy. I remember listening to a widower explain this feeling. He said, "I was fine before she came along. I managed. But then I realized I don't just want her here. I need her laughter in the morning, her hand reaching for mine at night. Without that, I'd go back to existing, but I wouldn't truly be alive." That kind of confession is not about dependence, it's about attachment. As human beings, we long for bonds that give stability, meaning, and purpose. So when a man says he needs you, he is telling you that you are no longer optional. You've moved to the center of his world. For men who have spent their whole lives trying to appear strong, that admission is not weakness. It is the most vulnerable kind of strength. For an older woman dating again, this word can break through old stereotypes. Society still whispers that women past 60 are secondary, invisible, or less desired. But when a man says need, he's proving the opposite. He is telling you that you are irreplaceable, not just appreciated, not just admired, needed. You'll often hear it in ordinary moments, not grand ones. Maybe when he sighs and says, "I need you with me on this." Or when he's facing a fear and whispers, "I need to hear your voice." These are not just words. They are love admitting its deepest truth. Life teaches us we can get by on our own. But real love begins when someone looks at you and says, "With you I am whole. Without you I am less." That is the kind of need worth treasuring, the kind that honors both tenderness and devotion. And when a man reaches this point, his language often shifts again. His words turn from the singular to the shared, from I to we, revealing just how much of his life he now envisions as yours together.
Word number 4. We, ours. It's easy to notice when a man begins to speak differently. At first, everything is about I. I did this. I want that. I'm going here. But then, something changes. The language shifts, often without him realizing it. Suddenly, it's we. We should try that new cafe. We can plan a trip next spring. Our place feels so warm tonight. These small shifts tell you more about his heart than any dramatic declaration ever could. In senior romance, the transition from I to we is profound. It signals that he no longer sees himself as separate, but as part of a shared story. And this isn't something men do lightly, especially in love after 60. Many have lived decades making their own decisions, holding their own ground. To speak in we is to surrender a little bit of that independence, not out of loss, but out of love. Philosophers often remind us that language shapes reality. The words we use change how we see the world. When a man moves into the language of we and ours, he's reshaping his reality to include you at the center. His future is no longer a solitary road. It has become a shared path. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that subtle shift in your own life when someone stopped saying I and began saying we? Did it make you pause, even smile, realizing you were no longer just a guest in his world, but a partner in his journey? Share your story in the comments if you feel moved to. It might encourage another woman listening right now. The beauty of we and ours is that they're woven into everyday life. You might hear it while grocery shopping. We like this bread better. Or while looking at family photos. This is ours now, our tradition. Those words are humble, unpolished, but they hold a promise far stronger than rehearsed lines of romance. They tell you that he has placed you inside his circle of belonging. And for an older woman dating again, hearing this change can be deeply healing. It reminds you that you're not just passing time together. You are building something, no matter what age the calendar shows. You are creating a shared space where love is not just spoken, but lived. In the end, when a man says we or ours, he is not just talking about the two of you. He is declaring that his life, his choices, his dreams are no longer solitary. They belong to both of you now. And that quiet shift in language is one of the clearest signs that his love has taken root in something lasting. And when words turn into we, the final step often follows naturally, the promise of forever, the quiet assurance that his love will remain through every season yet to come.
Word number 5. Forever. What kind of love dares to speak of forever when we've already lived through so many endings? It is not the love of youth, rushing ahead without thought. It is the love of maturity, tested by time, softened by loss, and strengthened by truth. When a man says forever to an older woman, it is not a fantasy. It is a vow that whatever years remain will be lived with loyalty and devotion. In Love After 60, forever doesn't mean endless decades. None of us can control the calendar. Instead, forever becomes a word about depth, not length. It means he is promising the heart he has today, tomorrow, and for every tomorrow after that, however many there may be. I once saw an older couple sitting quietly on a park bench. Their hands were intertwined, their conversation gentle. At one point, he leaned closer and said, "Forever with you feels too short." That single sentence carried the weight of his entire soul. Forever to him wasn't about time, it was about fullness, about every day being worth everything because it was shared. Psychologists remind us that humans long for permanence in an uncertain world. We seek something stable, something we can trust. For a man who has lived through decades of change, saying forever is his way of drawing a line in the sand and declaring, "This love is where I stand, and this is where I will remain." This word carries a tenderness that can heal the doubts so many women feel in later years. Society may whisper that passion fades, that commitment weakens, that love is temporary. But when he says forever and shows it through his steadiness, he is giving you reason to believe again. Often the word will appear in small, almost hidden ways. This will forever be our favorite place. I'll love you forever, no matter what happens. These are not exaggerated promises, but intimate truths. For men in love, forever is not just spoken. It is lived out in daily acts of presence, loyalty, and care. For an older woman dating again, this word can be both a surprise and a comfort. It means you are not just a companion in this chapter. You are the love he chooses to carry with him until the final page. When forever appears, it is the final proof that his love is not temporary, not uncertain, not halfway. It is a love that stands still even as the years move on. A love that says, "With you, I am complete, and I will remain for as long as I draw breath." And that is why forever is not just a word, it is a vow. It is the clearest sign that you are his last and lasting love.
When I look back on these 5 words, home, safe, need, we, forever, I realize they are not just vocabulary, they are milestones. Each one marks a deeper step into a man's heart, a quiet revelation of how much he cherishes the woman beside him. And for an older woman dating in the season of life after 60, they are reminders that true love is not behind you. It is still possible, still real, still waiting to be recognized in the language of everyday life. Love at this age is not about grand gestures or dizzying fireworks. It is about presence. It is about belonging. It is about finding the soul who sees you as home, who offers safety without judgment, who admits he needs you, who chooses to speak in we, and who promises forever in the time you have together. That is love after 60. Not shallow, not fleeting, but rooted in wisdom and lived experience. The world often tells us that passion belongs to the young, that romance fades, that older women should settle for companionship instead of devotion. But what we've uncovered here shows the truth. When a man truly loves, his words change. They may be simple, but they are profound. And if you learn to listen for them, you will hear his heart speaking more clearly than any grand declaration ever could. So as you carry this message into your own life, I hope you remember that your worth has never diminished. Your ability to inspire love, to be chosen, to be cherished, has not expired with age. In fact, it has only deepened. Because what men in love seek most is not perfection, but authenticity, tenderness, and connection. If this conversation spoke to you, I'd love for you to like this video, share it with someone who may need to hear it, and subscribe to Wise Life After 60 for more reflections like these. Carry this reminder wherever you go. You are not past love season. You are in its richest harvest.